Hello nurses, welcome to our channel Nursing for All, Striving for Quality Education. I am Vanaja. Today I would like to teach about anatomy of thyroid gland. We'll start. Thyroid gland is an endocrine gland. What is endocrine gland? Endocrine gland is a ductless gland which releases their products into the bloodstream. So here, thyroid gland products are hormones. These hormones directly get released into the bloodstream. That's why it is called as an endocrine gland. Next, we'll see the location of thyroid gland. So you can see in this diagram. So this is the thyroid gland. It is situated in the lower part of the front and sides of the neck. It is situated in the front portion of the neck and it is occupying the sides of the neck. So it is situated in the lower part of the front and sides of the neck. And it is located just inferior to the larynx. So this is the larynx. So this is the larynx. Just inferior to the larynx, thyroid gland will be present. Coming to the shape. Thyroid gland looks like a butterfly. Roughly, it looks like a butterfly. That's why it is called as a butterfly shaped structure or butterfly shaped gland. And it is extending from the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage. So this is the thyroid cartilage. This line side. This is the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage to the fifth and sixth tracheal ring. So down you can see, so these are the rings, tracheal rings. So it is extending from the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage to the fifth and sixth tracheal ring. And it is present deep to the muscles. Those are sternocleidomastoid muscle and sternothyroid muscle. So you can see, so this is the sternocleidomastoid muscle and this is the sternothyroid muscle. These muscles are located in the anterior to the anterior portion of the neck at the level of C5, C6, C7 and T1 vertebrae. So thyroid gland is present deep to the sternocleidomastoid and sternothyroid muscles which are present at the level of C5, C6, C7 and T1 vertebrae. That's why it is, we'll mention that thyroid gland lies against the C5, C6, C7 and T1 vertebrae. So coming to the lobes of the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland composed of right and left lobes. So this is the right lobe and this is the left lobe. So these lobes are present on either side of the trachea. This is trachea. On either side of the trachea, two lobes will be present and these two lobes are connected by a structure that is called as isthmus. So the central portion is called as isthmus. So this isthmus is located or present in the anterior portion of the trachea. 50% of thyroid glands will contain an additional third lobe that is called as pyramidal lobe. So why it is called as pyramidal lobe is you can see the structure. So this looks like a pyramid. That's why it is called as a pyramidal lobe. It extends superiorly from the isthmus. So it is extending from the isthmus. So coming to the mass of the thyroid gland or the weight of the thyroid gland is 30 grams. Next we'll see the relations of the lobes. The lobes are conical in shape. So you can see the shape of the lobe is conical in shape and it contains or these lobes have apex and base. So this upper portion is the apex and this down part is the base. So this is the apex and this is the base. Apex which extends upwards or which directed upwards. So this is the apex which directed upwards and the base which is present at the level of fourth or fifth tracheal ring, that is called as the base. So coming to the surfaces, it have three surfaces. Those are lateral surface, medial surface and posterior lateral surface. So lateral surface means which is present at the side. So this is the lateral surface. Medial surface which is in the middle. So this is the medial surface, and last one is posterior lateral surface. So posterior means backside. Lateral surface of the posterior thyroid gland is called as posterior lateral surface or posterior lateral surface. So totally there are three surfaces of thyroid gland. Those are lateral surface, medial surface and posterior lateral surface. And this thyroid gland have two borders. Those are anterior border and posterior border. So this is the anterior border. So this red line mark you can see in this diagram. So this is the anterior border. The back side is the posterior border. And this is isthmus. So isthmus is the central portion of thyroid gland which is connecting the lobes. So this is the anterior surface of the isthmus. And this isthmus also have two borders. So you can see this green color mark. So this is the superior border and this is the inferior border. The down one is the inferior border of the isthmus. This is about the relations of the lobes. Next we'll see blood supply to the thyroid gland. So blood supply to the thyroid gland is achieved by two main arteries. Those are superior and inferior thyroid arteries. So these are paired arteries which arising on both the left and right. So you can see here. So this is the superior thyroid artery and this is the inferior thyroid artery. So these are paired arteries which are arising on both left and right. So first we'll see about superior thyroid artery. So this superior thyroid artery which is arising from the first branch of external carotid artery. So this is the external carotid artery. Superior thyroid artery is arising from the external carotid artery and this will be descends towards the thyroid gland. It supplies the superior and anterior portion of the thyroid gland. So this superior thyroid artery supplies the blood to the thyroid gland. The portions are superior and anterior portion of the thyroid gland. Next, coming to the inferior thyroid artery. So this inferior thyroid artery arising from the branch of the subclavian vein. It is arising from the branch of the subclavian vein. You can see here, this is the right subclavian artery, not vein, this is artery. So here it is right subclavian artery and this is left subclavian artery. So from these arteries, this inferior thyroid arteries will be arise and which will be reach the inferior pole of the thyroid gland and it will supply to the posterior and inferior aspects of the thyroid gland. You can see where it is going backwards. So which is supplying to the down part and the back portion of the thyroid gland. This is about the arterial blood supply. Next we'll see about venous drainage. So here venous drainage is carried out by three veins. Those are superior vein, superior thyroid vein, middle thyroid vein and inferior thyroid vein. So if you see in this diagram, so this is the superior thyroid vein, this is middle thyroid vein and these are the inferior thyroid veins. So superior and middle thyroid veins which drains into the internal jugular veins. So this is the internal jugular veins. The superior and middle thyroid veins drains into the internal jugular veins. Next, inferior thyroid vein drains into the brachiocephalic vein. So this is the brachiocephalic vein. So this inferior thyroid vein drains into the brachiocephalic vein. So in this venous drainage, it is carried out by three types of veins. Those are superior thyroid vein, middle thyroid vein, and inferior thyroid vein. Superior and middle thyroid vein, where it drains into the internal jugular vein, and inferior thyroid vein drains into the brachiocephalic vein. This is about the blood supply. Next, we'll see the lymphatic drainage. So the lymphatic drainage of the thyroid gland is multidirectional and it is extensive. So it drains initially into the perithyroid nodes. In this diagram, you can see the different colors. So each color will be resembles the particular type of lymph node. So here, first it drains initially into the perithyroid nodes. From the perithyroid nodes, it will be drains into the prelaryngeal, pretracheal and paratracheal nodes. So you can see here, this is the prelaryngeal. From the perithyroid nodes, it drains into the prelaryngeal nodes. From the prelaryngeal nodes, it will be drains into the pretracheal. You can see the arrows. Prelaryngeal to pretracheal. This orange color one. And from the pretracheal, it will be drains into the paratracheal. You can see this purple color nodes. So these are the paratracheal nodes. Laterally, the gland drains into the superior inferior deep cervical nodes. So you can see, so these are the superior cervical nodes and this is inferior cervical nodes. So laterally this gland drains into the superior and inferior cervical nodes. This is about the lymphatic drainage. Next we'll see about nerve supply. So this thyroid gland is innervated by parasympathetic nerve fibers and sympathetic nerve fibers. So first we'll see about parasympathetic nerve fibers. So this is the parasympathetic nerve fibers. These parasympathetic nerve fibers arising from the superior laryngeal nerve and recurrent laryngeal nerve. You can see, so this is the yellow color, uh, yellow color one is the nerves. So this is superior laryngeal nerves, left and the right superior laryngeal nerve, and one more is the recurrent laryngeal nerve. So these two are the branches or the nerve fibers which are supplying to the thyroid gland. Next, coming to the sympathetic nerve fibers. So these sympathetic nerve fibers arising from the superior, middle and inferior cervical ganglia of the sympathetic trunk. So which will be supplied to the thyroid gland. So these sympathetic nerve fibers will be arise from the superior, middle and inferior cervical ganglia of the sympathetic trunk. Next, coming to the histology of thyroid gland. So thyroid gland will have microscopic spherical sacs. Those are called as thyroid follicles. So these thyroid follicles which will be make up the thyroid gland, and each wall of the each wall of the follicle consisting of the primary cells, those are called as follicular cells. So these follicular cells extend towards the lumen of the follicle. You can see in this diagram. So this is the thyroid gland and it is made up of the follicles. Those are called as thyroid follicles. So this is the thyroid follicle where it contains the cells, primary cells. These are called as follicular cells which are extending to the lumen of the follicle. And surrounding this thyroid gland, thyroid follicle, there is a membrane that is called as the basement membrane. When the follicular cells are inactive, their shape is low cuboidal to squamous. So when the follicular cells are active, the shape will be columnar shape. So it will be turned into the cuboidal to columnar shape. But when it is inactive, means when there is low hormonal secretion, then the shape of the follicle will be changed from low cuboidal to squamous, means cube shape to flat squamous shape. But under the influence of thyroid stimulating hormone, these follicles will become active and the shape will be changed from low cuboidal to low columnar shape. And these follicular cells produce two types of hormones. Those are called as thyroid hormones. The two thyroid hormones are triiodothyronine and tetraiodothyronine. Tetraiodothyronine is also called as thyroxine. And a few cells which are called as parafollicular cells or C cells, which lies between the follicles, they produce a hormone called as calcitonin. So here you can see. So in between the thyroid follicles, the different color, dark blue color cells. So these are called as the C cells or the parafollicular cells. It will produce a hormone that is called as calcitonin. So the main function of calcitonin is which will be maintain the balance of the calcium levels. So this is about the histology. So we discussed about under the structure of the thyroid gland. We discussed about the location of the thyroid gland, shape of the thyroid gland, lobes of the thyroid gland, and mass of the thyroid gland, and relation of the lobes. Under the relation of the lobes, apex, base, three surfaces of the thyroid gland, two borders of the thyroid gland, and two borders of the isthmus. And next we discuss about the blood supply, lymphatic drainage, nerve supply, and finally histology of the thyroid gland. I hope you all understood or you gained some knowledge regarding the thyroid gland, and feel free to give the comments. You can mention in the comment box. Thank you.